Now, why y'all ain't tell me I was muted? Why you didn't tell me? I didn't just said hit muted. Oh, that is hilarious. All right, so my bad. So this is your review for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. The reunion part 3. This is it. So we pick back up with Lisa coming back to join the group. The husbands are out. We see from jump Robert Senior ain't hit for the bull. Seth is in Canton, Ohio. Robert is still, well, he's not there. He's in Salt Lake City, obviously, but he's not there because of the vid. That's his excuse, and he's sticking to it. So Coach Shaw is as if he values his career more than he values, his wife. Why he wasn't at the funeral, and he lets us know that she wanted him. What's up, watermelon sugar? But she wanted him to come back, thinking that him being back would, keep her father from passing on with the ailments that he had, which is obviously not possible. And even, years before this particular moment, he was there damn near every day. But he mentions that he was at the wake, which in this moment, I'm sitting looking at Jigsaw. She's like, okay, now look, Jigsaw, I ain't got it to do with you. Okay, he might not have been at the funeral, but he was at the wake. Like, he was there for something. She made it seem as if he just wasn't there. I do want to sit here and give a couple of hand claps for Coach Shaw, because this African American man here handled himself with the utmost poise. Like, he was very stoic and confident and was very articulate. I love to see it. I really do. Justin, who is Whitney's husband, is asked about, is he his affiliation with the Mormon Church. He said he's not, hasn't been for 10 years, and because he and Whitney were both in marriages and they stepped out and got together, they were, but more or less for him, he was separated from the church. He was given a letter, so I guess when you get a letter, that means that it's done, and you can still see that he's visibly hurt by that. And then in the process of him talking about it, you can see that Heather is reacting and she's upset about it because, well, she still hasn't gotten over her hurt, which is understandable. You can't put a time on when people need to get over when they've been hurt. It is what it is. So divorce comes up, and Lisa is pretty much saying that it's common, like her husband's family, some of them are divorced, yet they're still in the Mormon church. She has relatives that are divorced, still in the Mormon church. And, Heather makes it clear that her situation is different. In the church, she's still considered married to her husband in the eyes of the church. Lisa says you can cancel the sealing. They discuss it. I don't know the ins and outs of it. I don't feel like researching it, okay? Because that ain't my boat to row. The only two faiths that I know about is Christianity and Judaism. I don't know about any others. I ain't gonna sit here and pretend to know. So Robert is asked to clarify his marriage. Robert is still upset about what was brought up, and he was upset that his wife even did the show because he knew that this would happen. And Mary tells him that she and Jigsaw had already made up, so he can not be on 10. Andy asks what he wants everyone to understand about his marriage. And here's the reality. You don't need to understand anything about anybody's marriages. Like, I got that on a reality TV show, but we got the gist of it. So we don't need to know nothing else. And I always say, when someone is sitting here prying into someone's relationship, or they want to sit here and put certain things about other people on display, that is because that they're either insecure or they're dealing with something in their personal lives, marriages, or whatever, and they don't want people to see it, so they want to sit here and put a magnifying glass on somebody else's shit, so you don't have to deal, so they don't have to deal with theirs. Trust me, I know a thing or two because I've seen a thing or two. So he says people think it's all about money, and it's not, and he hates the granddaddy junk. He's used to it, but he doesn't like anyone messing with his wife. That is obviously directed at Jigsaw. But I appreciate him not saying anything to her directly, because people in general have an issue with men addressing women. So he was just addressing Andy, like, just answering the question. But I feel the way about people talking about my wife. He asked her, is Mary a good first lady. He said she is the best, is the best, and she's not just that. Deflecting. Yes, that's the word that I was looking for. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. People deflected. Um, but he says that she's a great co-pastor. She is my equal. Mary gets emotional about the praise, and she says no one knows her better. All right. Andy feels Mary and Jigsaw got off to a if they got off to a good start, they will be friendly. And Mary says that she never gave Jigsaw a chance. Okay, 2 claps for that. Coach Shaw at this point has decided to address Robert and says that he told his wife when she made those comments and they watched it back in this and the third that she was wrong. It is unacceptable. We should not be doing these things. He gives like a little smidge on what was possibly going through her mind, but pretty much says that it's unacceptable. And he apologizes on behalf of his wife. And I'm like, you know what? And again, I like to see stuff like this where two African-American men are able to sit here and have this dialogue. And again, look, Coach Shaw, even if he and Jigsaw don't make it, he needs to be back here. Better yet, Coach Shaw need to host the reunions. Okay. I'm just gonna say that. All right. So Whitney's dad comes up. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this, but she asks, how is he? I'm sorry, dang nabbit. Andy asks her how is her father, and she says she doesn't know, and she hasn't spoken to him in a while. That he has showed up for, I believe it was her birthday party. She hasn't seen him since, has sent him numerous text messages, and she really just hopes that this show didn't, send him off the rails. So now we get Seth and Meredith's reconciliation. Meredith says things are fine. Andy doesn't really believe it. She's like, well, why am I going to sit and discuss my business with these women here? Now, mind you, yes, she is on a reality show. This is a reunion. But I can understand it. Like, these women, for the most part, the majority spend this whole entire season speaking on my marriage, my union with my husband. It ain't nothing. Like, I don't even feel that I need to even talk about it. Now, we know we're going to have to talk about it. So Andy says he's seen relationships, break up, and some that thrive on this show. What about theirs? And what do you think would have happened if you weren't on the show? Meredith says the show. Now, first and foremost, I love me some Meredith. Let me just say, Meredith, I think you was full of shit. Let me just start with that. But what Meredith said was the show helped save their marriage because they were forced to address things that they more or less heard did not want to address. Andy asked Seth if he had relations like Meredith, if he had relations with other people like she did. He says, not really. And he ain't going into detail. I'm looking like, Seth. Now, look, man. Look, man. You did something that you ain't finna admit to. But okay, I'm going to let you have it. But he then says that he was more concerned about, being a great businessman and being a great father, that he neglected to be a good husband. Good answer. We'll let you have that one. And Lisa is asked about Meredith and Seth and, them making up ever so quickly. Heather says, sorry. Lisa feels, like them getting back together took forever and that she loves them together. Now, Heather was upset. Now, look, a lot of time Heather was interjecting herself into certain things. And I had wrote in here at one point, but I'm going to just say it now. Heather wants something from Lisa that she ain't never going to get for Lisa. So, Heather, if you listening to me, baby, what you reaching for, you ain't finna get. So you might as well just let it go, let it be. Okay? Stop chasing these waterfalls, baby. Stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to. Just listen to me now. But she was pretty much saying to her, like, you're sitting here making light of divorce, saying, okay, well, I know people that divorce, my husband know people, and it's not a big deal, but you have sympathy for her situation. So why can't you tap into that and have some of that for me? We ain't getting no resolving that, so we're moving on. So Jigsaw is asked, you talk about loyalty, but you talk about loyalty, but you talk about Meredith's marriage behind her back. Now, I think this was something that either Jigsaw spoke with her husband about or her PR, because she really tried to spin and clean this thing up. And she says she didn't do it to hurt them, but quickly said, but because they're back together, it's a moot point. and Annie is like, Okay, I mean, you said it's a moot point, but you know, this was a big part of the season, and again, Andy, just be upfront, because with certain people, you like to pick and choose who you want to be direct with. Stop playing with me, Andy. So Jigsaw says she took the brunt of it, but all the ladies had their part in it. Now, all the ladies did, for the most part, have a part, but you brought this thing out. You brought this thing to the table. But see, again, a whole lot of accountability not happening makes me mad. So Jigsaw clarified. So I'm sorry. So when she said all the ladies had something to do with it, she quickly clarified that, okay, well, Lisa and Mary didn't have nothing to do with this. And she more or less said that for Lisa. But I guess because her and Mary just somewhat apologized and that they cool, she didn't want to bring her into that. So Andy says that there were things she brought up, but now that they're back together, it's a moot point. And Jigsaw doesn't feel that it should be discussed because they're back together. Coach Shaw felt bad because those two, you know, were close, building a good friendship, and it hurts him to see where this has what this dissolved into. This is all cute and all, but see, I don't like how he just let her off the hook with that. Like this was a big part of the season, so you just gonna let her off the hook? Okay, all right. So Jigsaw apologized. That's what it was, and said she should have never engaged in the conversation again. The words, you didn't engage in shit. You initiated these fucking conversations. The other women shouldn't have engaged. Baby, you initiated. But again, I'm gonna let them have that. So Meredith says thank you. Jigsaw cries and apologizes to Meredith and Robert for the hurt that she caused. Now the husbands are dismissed, and now we get the Vegas trip package along with the finale package. The show, we found out that the show literally wrapped just before COVID hit Salt Lake City, which is good. And we've also, if y'all don't know, they have been renewed for season 2, and if I'm not mistaken, they're currently filming season 2. So there's that. So they discussed Jigsaw yelling at Whitney. And, you know, she said she was surprised that this happened. Just like, okay, we're in Vegas. I done sat here. I done made up with Lisa. And if I didn't say Whitney, I meant Whitney. If I said Lisa, but I meant Whitney. And then she's like, and then for this to happen, like she was shocked. So then Andy asked about taking sides. Who feels that Jigsaw preaches loyalty but doesn't give it back? Elliot, yeah, that's what I meant. Jigsaw. I've been calling her Jigsaw from jump. Okay, and look, and the thing is, I didn't even play like this, but you got Jen, Shaw, Jigsaw. I mean, it just worked together. It all fit hand in hand, baby. But he asked who all feels that she asked for loyalty but don't give it back. Meredith raised her hand. Whitney raised her hand. Heather raised her hand. Mary raised her hand. The only person that did not raise their hand was Lisa. And she turns to Lisa and says, thank you. You can't tell me an alliance, either they forming an alliance. Maybe, you know, Jigsaw got something on Lisa. I don't know what it is, but it ain't right. It ain't right. So Meredith says, let me ask a yes or no question. This is to Jigsaw. She says, if I treated you the way that you treated me, do you feel I was a loyal friend to you? And I'm like, hey, let's keep it right. Let's keep it plain. Let's just do it that way. Jigsaw says no, but there's always a but. But it wasn't just me. Baby girl, just own your shit. Own your shit and move on. But you're doing too much. So Meredith is asked about her wanting Lisa to choose sides. And she said she didn't want her to choose sides, but she just felt like, okay, she doesn't get Jen and being not saying Jen, but Jen and Lisa's friendship, especially knowing how Jigsaw went so hard on her marriage. She just doesn't understand it. So Heather is asked about her friendship with Jigsaw. She says pretty much, when it's good, it's good, but when it's bad, it's bad. And I don't feel like I need to sit here and eat shit. And then here go Jigsaw. Well, I feel like I eat shit too. Like, oh my God, she is so fucking annoying. And And then she says if she doesn't know what's going on with Heather, she can't fix things because, and again, Heather admitted, you know what, I sometimes don't talk through things. Okay, cool. But Heather apologizes, but doesn't like her comments that she tends to make, on social media and whatnot. And then Andy asks her, well, what was the comments, baby? She says she buys clothes off the rack at Dress Barn. I don't know what it is, but apparently it probably ain't the place. Y'all let me know if y'all know what Dress Barn is. I don't know if that's like what, I don't know. But anyway, and then she said she thinks she's an actress, but the only role she will get is that of a manatee or Shrek. I said, the fuck. No, you didn't. Now, I happen to be scrolling on social media, and because I'm not doing this in OBS, I'm gonna just have to show y'all. But someone, and I believe is Era Lee's watching, says if Heather's playing Shrek, Jen Shaw is playing the waitress. Now this right here is the post. That right there is Jen. Okay. That right there is the waitress. I hollered. Wait, okay, so it's a discount store equal to TJ Maxx. Woo! Oh, okay. And the thing is, y'all see that Jigsaw, she somewhat tried to deny, but she couldn't deny it. I'm like, oh, your Twitter fingers is something else. Now, I wanted Andrew to sit here and say to her what he said to Candace. Girl, you need to get your ass off social media. But anyway, let me see. All right, so Jigsaw doesn't remember why she said what she said to Heather. So again, not necessarily denying it, but she said it was because something happened. Again, just say, you know what, I said it. I don't remember why. My bad. I apologize. I was on one. Like this is one of those where the art of apologizing is really simple. It really is. So Mary falls asleep. I hollered. Because Andy had mentioned that a lot of people do it, but we only seen Mary fall asleep. Now I ain't watched all the Housewives. I'll eventually get to all of them. But she look, she was high. She ain't ate nothing all motherfucking day. And then she sitting here like, I'm sitting here dealing with these dang on heifers. And then somebody want to sit here and continue conversation we already had. We got all these motherfucking cue cards. Like, and then she just said, fucking doo-doo-doo. Oh my gosh, that was hilarious. But she was asked her opinion. She gave her opinion. And then they come to the whole hand raising topic when they were in Vegas. Okay, who all doesn't trust Jigsaw? That whole thing, right? So Heather wants to know why she was so different than the other women, because when it was asked who doesn't trust Heather, Jigsaw was the only one that raised her hand, and Jigsaw says, because I care more about you. Now the faces some of those women made. That's gonna come back to bite her in the ass come season 2. Let me see what they say. Oh Lord. Very simple, but the ego and pride is always, pride always makes apologizing seem difficult. You know what? Facts. It really does. It really does. And again, the reality is, and I've said this on many videos I've done on my channel, where I'm one of those where it's just like, I honestly, I can give a fuck about an apology. What I want is two things. I want you to take accountability for what it was you said or you did to me. Because fucking an apology. Because an apology is real blank. And no, own what you did, but at the same exact time, an apology without, action ain't shit but words. So, okay, you gave me this apology, cool, whatever. Okay, whether I accept it is irrelevant. What I want to see is action, because if you don't change the action, meaning if you continue to do the same exact shit that I just told you that it made me feel away, that you apologize for, and you do it again, oh, trust me, when I tell you my cutoff game is real strong, like unless you are related to me or I consider you to be family, you really not gonna get a second chance with me. You call me once, it's done. You get that second chance, or you got some work to prove. And if you sit here and you start doing the same exact thing, it's over. It's over. I mean, I would tell y'all to talk to my family, but what? Now they're gonna have a lot of choice words. But trust me when I say it, I got one person that's dead to me. I got a couple people on a distant island that is close to being on that island of dead people. I don't play those games. But anyway, Where was I? Cause I care for you more. So Jigsaw says after Vegas, she was alone and devastated. Now, here we go. This is the piece where I really feel like I should have waited till this morning to do this live. Now, and I'm pretty sure if not everyone that's watching me right now, the couple that are, I'm pretty sure the majority of you are women, primarily African American women. I need y'all to give me y'all insight on this. I'm quick to cut off even family. I'm sorry, hold on, wait. I'm quick to cut off even family, especially family. Oh, trust when I say I'm the same exact way. I done made it clear if having you in my life means that I have to compromise my joy, my peace, and my happiness. Trust me, if it comes down to my joy, peace, and happiness versus you in my life, the decision is very simple. It's very simple. And I mean everybody. Okay, I mean, just to put it out there, I mean, like I said, I mean, my father, before he went on the glory, I ain't talked to him for a whole good 2 years and some change because he sat here and talked to me like I wasn't even related to him. I don't play them motherfucking games. I don't care who he is. You not finna talk to me disrespectfully. You not finna treat me a certain way. And then this is the whole. If you think I'm finna sit here and eat shit and smile, oh, you you got me what I like to call fucked up. But Jigsaw decided she wanted to have this conversation. And she says after Vegas, she felt alone and devastated. As a woman of color, it is different to be told, don't talk, you're a bully, you're a piece of shit for 4 hours. Let's break this down real quick. First and foremost, I'm getting very tired of her trying to attach herself to the plight of the African American people, primarily the African American woman. My thing is, you are a person of color, but here's the thing: don't talk about person of color. Centralize it on you and say you as a whatever your background is. Because what you're doing is you're trying to attach yourself to a movement that has nothing to do with you. It is the same. I'm not even gonna go down that road right now because again, we're gonna be here all night. But I didn't like that. And then when she says when you're being told don't talk, it wasn't that they were telling you don't talk. It's the fact that she's one of those people where she's not listening to understand someone. She is listening to hear a point to where she can interject. And a lot of times people do that because they don't want the conversation to be realized. So if they continue to cut conversations off and redirect it, you never get anywhere. So when she was being told, hold up, it's let that person get their thought out. And then after that person is done making their thought, their statement, their whatever, then you respond. Now, if you don't have the ability, the aptitude, the mental capacity to sit here and be able to take in all of what someone is saying, then keep a pen and a piece of paper with you, baby, and make the points that you want to sit here and rebuttal. But this is why they were telling you to hold up now, let that person finish, because you feel that what you're saying is more important than what the other person is saying. Ain't cool. What else? Her saying that she was a bully. Hold on, wait, what happened? What'd you say? We won't be used for your convenience, man. Okay, I'm glad someone said it. And then her being called a bully, the therapist / mediator / hypnotist was pretty much saying this is how it's coming off. And her behavior is somewhat bully. What happened here? I mean, what she said is true objectively, but might not fit her situation. And I get that. But right here, this particular piece was her individualizing it. My thing is, don't say women of color. Individualize it to your experience. Because I believe she's Hawaiian, something like that. Say you as a whatever place you're from as this type of woman. This is what I've experienced. Just keep it to yourself. You feel what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, as a man of color, hell no, I'm going to tell y'all, as an African-American man, look, this is what I've dealt with. Point blank, any fucking period. But anyway, and then she says, you're a piece of shit for 4 hours. Well, ma'am, you did a lot of shit for this entire season. So if y'all are having a sit down, and again, I've said this many different times, a lot of the times people don't want to have certain conversations is they don't want to have to sit in what they did. And most people cannot handle someone saying to them, you have done me wrong in this particular moment in time. You was an ancient person. People don't want to sit in that, especially when they have this, facade of that they are perfect and ain't nothing wrong with them. Just saying. So, and all of that was personalized. But see, one thing I don't like is when Andrew let these conversations happen and literally we just put a bow on it. And I'm going to get to it momentarily. Andy asks, what have the women done to make her feel marginalized? And in him saying that, this lets you know that Andrew is fully aware of the fuck shit that goes on all of these shows. And because this was shot after Potomac, and because they had to do some firing on some of those Bravo shows like Vanderpump Rules and everything else, I think this was him trying to be somewhat woke, but he was still asleep. So Jigsaw says, telling me I'm aggressive, and saying that to a woman of color, that is dangerous, ma'am. That statement, we do understand it. But this don't apply to you, baby girl. You was being aggressive, baby. And then when it comes to people of color, primarily African-American women, there is a stigma that has been with that, where African-American women have been, labeled as, ghetto, project, rolling of the neck. If you talk to Kaylon from Bail Collector, taking off earrings, taking off their shoes, angry black woman, all these different things. And the thing is, unfortunately for African-American women, and I'm speaking for y'all and to y'all, in America, you don't have that place to be able to sit here and realize every emotion there is in the spectrum, because you, and I can include myself, but again, I'm speaking for my ladies here, you are expected to pretty much be happy and nothing else. Anything past happy, if you go left or right of that, then it's like, oh my gosh, but why is it that other ethnicities, primarily the dominant society, can sit here and be mad and it'd be okay, can sit here and cuss their boss out and it'd be okay? Better yet, let's just bring it to Real Housewives in general. And I'm gonna go back to fucking New Jersey, where Teresa physically pushed Andy ass. And you're like, oh yeah, you're strong. Really? That shit's funny? That one of your fucking employees just fucking put their hands on you and pushed you, but that shit's funny? It's acceptable for her, but I guarantee you, let Nene would have done that, it would have been a whole nother motherfucking situation. This is the shit that I don't like. So I understand what she is trying to say, because then this woman of color, you trying to be all inclusive, baby girl, keep that shit to you. As an African-American man, I understand that it's real tight for me, that I really can't sit here and have a sway of emotion, because for an African-American woman, I'm not to say that y'all won't be harmed. Most of the time, y'all get it bad. For African-American men, sometimes our life is at stake for us sitting here going left or right of the beaten path. So I don't like when someone wants to attach themselves to the movement or attach themselves to our struggle, because that has happened in the past. And those people trying to attach on get what they need from it. And once they get what they need from it, they disassociate themselves from us. I ain't got it to do. I ain't got the fuck to do. Whew. Okay. I'm back. I don't know how long I'm gonna be back, but I'm back. All right. But again, that statement was an actual factual. But at the same exact time, even going back to the whole Potomac thing, if you are acting aggressive, then we should be able to call it that. Let me see what. Yeah, it minimizes it. It most definitely does. It most definitely does. And I'm telling you, there are so many different situations in American history dealing with African Americans where there have been certain plights that we have had, certain things that we have tried, to have as our own, and other people come and associate themselves to it long enough to get what they want, and then they remove themselves. Like, when I say just take it on and just say my experience as this type of woman, blah, 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 blah. And if you want to, you can say, I'm pretty sure that Mary, as an African-American woman, probably felt that would have been okay. But don't just group yourself in like that. So anyway, Heather kind of looked like, oh. And Heather says, you were being aggressive and you are being aggressive in this moment. Whitney says, girl, you threatened me. And she did threaten her. So it's like, you're trying to sit here and have this campaign and you want people to rally behind you. But unfortunately, your behavior was fucked up. I ain't standing behind you. Y'all can, I ain't. So Jigsaw says there's a double standard. On this particular franchise, sweetheart, I don't see it. The other franchises, I can see it. This one, baby girl, I don't. Because they let your ass get away with a whole fucking lot. But anyway, Mary is asked her opinion, and she says, Jen has been cruel, but you get the vibe from Whitney and Heather that they're better than, other people, and it's embedded. And for a moment, Heather was just like, really? Wait, hold on. But Heather says she understands the white privilege of it all. And I'm like, oh, hold up. We finna have a conversation. Like, I was getting happy, just like, this is what I like. Like, if it's gonna be brought up, let's handle it, and let's speak eloquently about it. Jigsaw doesn't want to have to educate them. Heather lets her know, baby girl, I understand. You don't have to educate me. Whitney says she understands that there is a different ball game being played. There are different opportunities. Trying to let her know, like, we understand the differences in the world, baby girl. Don't act like we don't. And then Jigsaw says they don't understand. And this is one of those where you just want to have this moment. You just want to sit here and just have it internalized that you'd have been done wrong and don't nobody understand. And I feel like in this moment, the women on the stage, minus Lisa, is literally sitting, and well, Mary somewhat co-signed, but the women on that side of the couch, on side of the stage, is telling you, we understand. We get it. And Meredith says, no one here denies white privilege. But when you make an accusation about somebody being racist, and then you have Jigsaw jumping back in to cut somebody off, and this is, again, you don't want to let nobody make their point. You just want to be the only one to make a point. She was like, can I finish? Can I finish, please? Thank you. And then she says, but to do that, it's a huge accusation in this particular climate that we are in. And y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't, and again, I'm one for sitting here being able to point out colorism, featureism, racism, prejudice, all of this. I don't see the women doing that to her. I don't. And she's mad because they called her out. Ma'am, all you really had to say is my behavior is because I had a substance abuse problem and it was things I wasn't dealing with in my life. That would have been the simplest piece. But no, you don't want to do that. You want to turn this into a racial issue. Baby girl, that is not what it is. Jigsaw said she didn't want to get into this conversation because it's hurtful. You don't know, what I have to go through. And then she walks off the stage and she is crying. She goes back and talks to her husband and is telling him that, she feels they don't understand her because they are not people of color. This is something that, her and her husband have been fighting for years and is literally unraveling and going down this rabbit hole. And again, as a person of color, that has worked and, worked in a bank, and as someone that has served in the United States military in the field of aviation, a part of the military where, yeah, we small numbers over there, and I've experienced my fair share, but I'm not sitting here doing all this. And again, and I, especially as I got up in rank, was able to impact what was around me and be able to change opinions. But it wasn't with, okay, I'm giving her way too much energy. I think y'all understand what I'm saying. I feel like I'm beating the dead horse right now. Jigsaw returns and says she understands they don't get, because Andy had asked her, she's like, I understand they don't get it. This is something my family has dealt with for years. And that was it. Andy let it die, right? Mind you, it needed to die, but literally we left with no resolve. You even had Whitney calling her husband like, okay, the racist thing just came up. I don't know what to do with this. Like, because she is totally stunned. Is like, what the hell did I? And she truly didn't understand, like, what did I do? Everybody up there was just confused. And then literally we put a real quick bow on this. And it's like, so we opened this conversation just to put a tight knit bow on it. Why? So this can be revisited for season 2. I see you for your works, Andrew. Fuck you. So then he wants to wrap this up with things learned. So Lisa feels, that she needs to listen more. Mary feels that she needs to work on how she conveys things. Jigsaw, says communication. Whitney says timing and delivery and owning my own voice. Now, Mary, y'all had Meredith fucked up. Okay, hold on, wait, what happened? Oh, what's up? Appreciate you coming in, but look, I I'm at the tail end, like I'm losing steam right now. But Meredith said that, you know, what she gave wasn't reciprocated. Whitney and Heather gave me an apology. So she said, Whitney and Heather, when this show wrapped, and I guess it was the reunion and everything that happened, they called and apologized to her for what they did and the part they played. And it's like, okay, but I'm now just getting an apology from Jigsaw after all this time, after you didn't watch this season back, after you know what the fuck you said about my marriage. She didn't say all that, but I'm just giving y'all extra. And she said she apologizes, and she said, I'm sorry, she said, apologies, my bad, don't make things go away, but trust needs to be earned. So this is letting some of them know, primarily Jigsaw, baby girl, if both of us come back for season 2, oh, you finna work for this friendship, because you got me fucked up. And Heather says, you know, she needs to learn to speak up and embrace people where they are. And it ends with a meatball toast because Heather liked meatballs. That was the reunion. That was it. I'm just so upset that this was so draining. But even though it was draining, I don't like how we just wrapped up this whole racism thing and Jigsaw trying to have the plight of the African-American woman. I don't like it. Yeah, Jigsaw is Jigsaw. Yeah. That's the one. Yep. Morgan, I don't know if you're new to my channel, but I do like to give people nicknames, primarily the basketball hoes. Everybody over there but OG got a nickname. Plus, I gotta try to make this interesting for all of you. Look, baby, Jen exhausted everybody. Okay, Jen exhausted everybody. I swear I wanted to wait till the morning to do this review, but I said I'll get it done because I just want to be done with this season. But let me see what you say. These networks are playing our faces with these ways. You know, you ain't never lied. You ain't never lied. I mean, hey, look, it's cool that you're new. Trust me when I say, look, we have a good time over here. We do. We have a good time. I don't have subscribers. I have family. Okay, we family. Like, if I'm over here talking to you about my personal shit, goddamn it, we family. If y'all in my house right now, like we is right now, we family. You feel what I'm saying? Good time over here. I like to have a good time. I like to cut up, and I like to, you know, try to make some of y'all feel better because, you know, even with depressing times like now, especially with people getting all that snow, you know, hey, we need a good laugh every now and again. So, with that being said, to remind you all to okay, well, I'll say today, later on today, because it's 12:08 where I'm at in Chicago, on Really Be TV's channel at 5:30 Central Time, we will be doing a live recap of the Real Housewives of New Jersey. In addition, well, we're going to talk about what happened on this damn reunion, primarily the whole racial injustice that Jigsaw has felt. So if y'all want to hear that conversation and then hear other dialogue, it'll be myself, Really Be TV, and Lil Baby, please join us over there. It's going to be a great time. We're going to cut the food. I'm going to cut the food regardless of who channel I'm on now. And yeah, other than that, for shows, Growing Up Hip Hop later on, well, tonight. And if I get around to it, Collective and Little Women, we shall see. Look, that it is what it is. But look, I appreciate y'all for joining me this evening. I know it's late. I'm about to go to bed, but I hope y'all have a blessed and peaceful night. I'm not far from you. Oh, you in Indiana? Oh, show Indiana. But I hope y'all have a great night, a blessed night. You know, rest easy. Hopefully, you know, the Lord kisses you on your brow. You wake up in the morning, and we can get this thing started again. So thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed this. And again, this show might be over, but I do have other reviews. So yeah, I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.